Report story. Okay everyone. This is where we will be staying for the time being. It's not super nice, but we can make do. Momo said happily clapping her hands together. Yes, this should do just fine for the time being. Todoroki said, agreeing with her. Mina and Kirishima however stood in awe. A low-budget place to lay low they said. Mina mumbled. Something to stay inconspicuous they said. Kirishima followed. The four of them stood in the doorway of a nice modern three-room apartment. The living room had nice white couches with a sleek black glass table, a TV hanging on the cloud white walls. One of the walls to the apartment had a full window wall, with a full kitchen with black granite countertops to fill in the rest of the space. On one side of the apartment had two doors that lead into a room each. On the other end was one door, that supposedly led into the master bedroom. What's wrong you two? This is inconspicuous. It's not too expensive and my parents said they would cover the funds as to not ruin UA's current budget. They said this is like pocket money to them, and the Endeavor agency is helping as well. Momo said with a happy smile. Do your parents know you're on a top secret mission? Kirishima asked. Momo's face contorted to horror. Oh heavens no. That would put them in danger. No, I told them this was a trip while UA sorted its business out. I'm sure they see this as me trying new things. My father knows, but he's one of the masterminds behind this plan, so funding from my dad and his agency is easy. Todoroki said. Now then, let's all get set up and prepared. Shoto and I will take the master bedroom together. Mina snorted. You two can discuss who gets what room. I believe it would be best if you guys chose since they are your rooms. Shoto and I will be unpacking if you need us. Momo said, practically skipping to her room, dragging her luggage behind her. Todoroki looked at the two ex-students still in awe and nodded, turning to follow Momo towards their room. Kirishima and Mina looked at each other and both nodded in understanding. Rich kids. Well, let's take a look at our rooms, shall we? Kirishima said with a smile towards Mina. Why yeah, though knowing them they're probably exactly the same. Mina said. The rooms were exactly the same. Each had nice white furniture finishes with queen-sized beds, a window wall, and walk-in closets. This is gonna take some getting used to. Kirishima said. I think it's absolutely amazing. We get to live in style Ajiro. Mina said jumping on her bed. Kirishima laughed. Yay. Still though, those two have some major guts sharing a room with you in the same apartment. Kirishima said, looking towards the couple's room. Mina giggled. They have taunted the queen. The queen must now retaliate. So as everyone knows. Momo said later that night. The rest of the three were sitting on the couch listening attentively to Momo, who was now pointing at the digital map on the flat screen. One of the Liberation Army's targets is somewhere here in northern Hokkaido. It's very possible they may already have said target. We know that target isn't Midoriya, who is here on this mountain. The Liberation Army just recently came to town, so our mission is to locate both the Liberation Army members and the target they are after. Promoted stories. You'll also like The Life of 0:17.4K486 Izuku. Midoriya wanted to be a hero his whole life and was bullied for it since he was quirkless. Izuku Midoriya was told that he would never get a quirk by his doctor. The Black Lady of the Night vigilante hero was out one night and saw a person fighting a whole group of villains all by themselves, but the problem is that they're badly injured and no one knows. Revenge of the wronged hero who happens to be. One could have thought that someone as pure and innocent as Izuku Midoriya would be betrayed by his friends who he thought that he could trust with everything he has. Captured by Love, BNHA Villain Redemption a 136K 2.9K Izuku. Midoriya has never felt more confused. Being a villain has taught him to never get attached to anyone, because they'll either end up betraying you, or you'll be. There's something up with Izuku Midoriya. Midoriya had watched his mentor fight for his life and end up using the last of his power. Now being the sole wielder of One for All, Izuku knows he needs to work. The paths he chooses Book 1. A Fateful S. A normal day for Izuku as he completes his normal routine and goes to school. Along the way he runs into Yui Kodai, a quiet and mysterious girl of Class 1B, they I can't lose you warning. Spoiler warning. Mentions of the events leading up to, including and following the internship arc warning Katsuki has always been bad at expressing his feelings but when But how are we supposed to do that though? Mina cried making an over-exaggerated motion next to Kirishima. The Liberation Army aren't necessarily obvious villains, right? They could be normal everyday people. Business people, retail workers, even our own heroes. And that's not to mention we have zero information on the target they're after. That's true. We don't have much to go on. Momo said, making a discouraging face, bringing a finger to her chin. Oi, come on. We can't already be on a negative foot here. Kirishima said standing. We're class 1A still, we can do anything. Aizawa and the other pros wouldn't have sent us here if they didn't think we could do it. Being honest, they didn't have much of a choice. Todoroki said, monotone. Why are you guys so down about this? Kirishima said loudly. Oi Mina. Come on, you know we can do it. We need to help out Bakugo, Uraraka and Midoriya, right? Mina sat up at the sound of Ochako's name. Right. Now wasn't the time to be giving up. Momo however smiled. He chose to call Mina by first name, huh? Well, the only way to get information is to go and find it. Momo said, putting her hands on her hips. The Liberation had a base we were gonna raid before Midoriya's fight with Gaslighter, right? Todoroki asked. Momo nodded. Two of them. One a hospital, one was some fancy building. Momo said. Maybe they'll be taking ownership of a abandoned or refurbished building. Or bought a newer fancy building. Maybe they even built a new structure here somewhere with the gear and stuff they need. Somewhere secure they can call a temporary base while they try to find this target. They had a lot of money from their leader Redestro, right? Yeah, see. We are getting somewhere. Kirishima cheered, pounding his fist together. Mina also stood, now looking excited. We can cover the streets and investigate any new or unusual structures. And one of us can go through any ownership transfers. Each building has an owner, right? Maybe that'll help us. She said. Well then, it looks like we have a plan for the time being. Okay everyone. Get some rest, we start tomorrow morning. Break. Kirishima stretched and walked towards his room, seemingly pumped for the upcoming mission tomorrow. Mina, looking back, watched as he walked to his room with a smile on her face. She wasn't the only one who knew how to bring people up. Momo watched as Mina stood staring at Kirishima. Momo turned quickly to Todoroki and winked. Todoroki nodded as he left towards their room. Sue, Momo started, tapping an unsuspecting Mina on the shoulder. Mina jumped. What? What is it? Mina said, flabbergasted. Momo laughed. He called you by first name. I take it you call him first name as well. What? I mean, what? No, of course not. I mean, yay. Totally, we are on like a first name basis, but like. Come on, Momo, you know us. It's us, Ajiro and Mina from middle school, been together and close since like. Ever. Momo raised an eyebrow. I have to say, I've never once heard you this excited about being middle school friends with Kirishima. Momo said. Mina's cheeks grew a deeper pink than her usual shade. She squinted her eyes. I can tell what you're doing. I'm the queen of it, you can't outplay the queen at her own game. Mina said. Momo raised her second eyebrow. Can't I? I remember you giving a small push to Shoto and I. It worked pretty well for us too. I guess I can just go tell Kirishima that you. Stop. Mina said, covering Momo's mouth with her hands. Okay, fine, you win. Damn, okay, yes, I might be feeling a little something for Ajiro. But now isn't the time. We've got a lot on our plates, huge responsibilities. Mina said, lowering her hands. Momo, however, chuckled. Ochako and Midoriya basically got together right after they went on that dangerous overhaul mission. They had to be doing a bit of unprofessional acts during that time if they got together that quickly. Momo stepped forward and wrapped her arms around Mina. Maybe you should allow yourself a bit of comfort while things are hard right now, okay? Momo felt Mina nod slightly. Momo released Mina, who immediately looked back at Kirishima's door, and walked away. Oh, and one other thing, Momo said, before opening the door to her room. Mina looked across the living room at Momo. Try anything to push Shoto and I, and I'll literally create a situation to put you and Kirishima in cheers. Momo said with a smile before disappearing inside her room. Mina gulped. Momo had defeated the queen at her own game. Clever. Leave the boy on that couch. I'm gonna do a bit of investigating. Asagiri said, pointing towards the couch in the cabin. Yusuke laid the still unconscious Bakugo on the couch, then made a beeline for the fridge. Asagiri rolled her eyes as she walked around the cabin. A study area, a workout room, definitely a high-end training facility for just a simple cabin in the mountains. I'm checking upstairs. Asagiri called out. She heard the mumble of acknowledgement come from Yusuke. Asagiri walked up the stairs. The first door she saw brought a smile to her face. Eri, there's that lost test subject. The doctor had her originally, but somehow after the family had tried to protect her, made her way to the Chisakis. They threw her away in order to protect her, but really to protect themselves. Pathetic. She walked towards the next door. Bakugo, Katsuki. She raised an eyebrow. So he was a UA student. This was the student the league took, right? She scoffed. Why did the doctor have so much interest in that Shigaraki boy? Why not herself? The last door, however, brought a smile from ear to ear. Uraraka, Ochako, and Midoriya, Izuku. If they weren't here, and Oshagiri, her test subject, had somehow been getting better as of late. Her smile somehow got bigger. Yusuke, we're leaving. Leave the boy. Now. she said to the large man as she rushed down the stairs. Yusuke, holding a large amount of food, looked her way. Now, he asked. Yes, now. What are you doing? She asked, staring at the large pile of food. Your amplification takes double the energy of the amplified, right? That's what you said. I'm hungry. Well, take it with you then. We have to go now. I think I know where he is, she said in a nerve-wracking joyful tone. Yusuke's eyes grew wide. Him. Him. The two rushed down the mountain towards the shrine where Oshagiri, Hima rested. Why did you put this girl so far out here anyway? The burly man asked as they raced down the mountain towards the shrine. You try and keep a reality-bending quirk user to do test on in the middle of the city and you see how fun it is keeping her hidden, she said. However harsh her words were, her tone sounded nothing but gleeful as she happily jumped over fallen trees. Fair enough. The two landed in front of the pink-leaved forest, the path following towards the shrine. There should be two girls there with him. One a hero course and the other a previous test subject. We'll circle the woods and take them from surprise from the back. Understand? Asagiri said. Yusuke nodded. The two made their way through the forest until they were on the side of the house, crouching in from the back. Okay. There's the Ua girl. She's sitting on her phone. And Izuku Midoriya is. Suddenly the woman's eyes grew wide, catching Izuku Midoriya, sitting in the field. He seemed to be sitting in the grass, talking to nothing. She smiled that creepy smile once again. She couldn't see it, but she knew he was talking to Oshagiri's illusion. What are you waiting for? What's the rest of the plan? We're taking the others out and taking Midoriya and Oshagiri with us, right? Yusuke whispered quietly into Asagiri's ear. Asagiri watched as Izuku went into a meditative state. His eyes closed as he became silent. Her eyes grew even wider. He was using Oshagiri's powers for his own gain. She didn't know what he was trying to do. But this could work. He could do what she could not, expand upon Oshagiri's quirk. And she would be able to study Midoriya and Oshagiri own from a distance. That's what they were gonna do if they took them away anyway. Might as well observe the quirks in their natural habitat. Change of plan, she whispered. Knock the girl on the stairs out. Quietly so the little one next to Midoriya holding her hands up doesn't notice. Make it look like she's asleep, then come back behind here. Swiftly, do it now while Midoriya isn't paying attention. Asagiri touched the side of Yusuke's arm. The veins in his body pulsed, almost bursting out of his body. With amplified speed the man swiftly was in front of Ochako. Ochako's head darted up, but before even a sound could come out, a hit to the back of the neck rendered Ochako unconscious. Yusuke quickly laid her peacefully on the steps, as if she were sleeping, and quickly returned to Asagiri, once again hidden on the side of the house. Okay, girlie is knocked out. But why aren't we taking Midoriya now? He asked, confused. Don't rush perfection in the making. I want to observe them for just a bit. If this goes smoothly, we'll be observing Oshagiri, Hime a lot longer than anticipated. The grin on her face grew even larger. A new variable just got added to her testing. And he is the perfect test subject himself as well. Where stories live. Discover now.